So data ADAE set Adam dot ADA data set. So the first, if you want to include all the adverse event related, so there is the Adam ADAE. So we have to give which are adverse event related. The main variable is adverse event term. So this is a main variable. So if the adverse event is reported, we have to include. Okay. So that is why I just apply the condition a term not equal to missing. Whenever you want to show all adverse event, simply we apply this condition most of the times. Okay. Because adverse events there means the term should be present. At least without term, they are not entering into the data set, right? So next, we have to keep the variables. First one is use sub JID. Second one, they want to concatenate these three variables together with the slash. So we can create the variable name, SOC, preferred term, and actual term. Okay, like that. You can give any name. So they want to concatenate adverse events, primary system organic class, and preferred term. So just I giving a SPA. So catex just with the slash. What are the variables? AE term and AE bodices are AE SOC. So any two variables are available, any one you can take. If the one variable is available, that variable you can take. Okay. Yeah. So next second variable is SPA and third variable is so start dates, end dates, severity, action taken, relationship and outcome. These are the variables they want to keep. So we created the ADE data set with the required variables. Subject and start date, end date, severity, all are character variables. No need to convert anything to numeric to character. Okay. So fine. What is the next step? So we have to write a proc report to display all this information into the RTF file. So before that one, we need to be, decide so many observations are there here, right? Around 97. So they are not fitted into one page. So we can use this step. Okay, same step. So these are the variables. You have to sort it. And so ADAE, ADAE. So here I've just given article 7 lines per a page. Okay. So every 7 line I have created one number. If the space is there, we can increase the number also fine. Yeah. So now we have to write the proc report section to display this information. Similar like yesterday listing. Copy this one, paste it here. And the third title you have to change every time. First and second, every output is the same. And this is a 16 2 2 2. And the output name also you can give 16222. Okay. Next, write the proc report. 1 minute. Yeah. So where we are, proc report section. Simply we copy this proc report section and paste it here. So ADA2 and the variables which you want to be display, just copy this one, paste it here. Okay, so now we have to define each and everything. Okay, so define part you already know, so just I copy the part. So each and every variable you need to be defined carefully, like use sub JID, next SPA, STDTC and ENDTC. You can give a proper cell width and you have to define. So then above one line and below one line, and just break this one and close. We'll see once how the output is going to generate. So this is what the output was generated perfectly. So fine. So if it is a data is there, so it will display like this. In case, in case, for example, let me close this one. For example, the next listing, just copy and paste it here. So the next listing 16 2 to 4. So 2 to 3. Serious adverse event they want to be included. So in that case, the condition is so serious adverse event AESCR. So you can also check the AESCR equal to Y. So serious adverse events equal to Y related output. So if you want to generate, so once you apply this one, so you will find one observation having the serious adverse event. So this observation we are going to display. So what are the changes? First condition. Next what we need to do change the title. And next what we need to change the footnote. Okay. So if you change these things automatically you will be able to see the 1623 serious adverse event related data. So whenever it comes to the next listing, just copy and paste it. So serious adverse event which leading to the death. Okay, serious adverse event and the A outcome is death. So death are how can we know? So which term they are going to use? So in that cases, just go to the documents and see the CRF ones. Okay. So because no subject having any death now, so just go and check with the A out related variable. So here you can see, so either it is recovered resolved, recovering resolved, not recovered, fatal is there. So in future, if any subject having the death, you may get the observation like if the subject is dead, so you will get the name like fatal. So at present data, so AE outcome is something like not resolved, not recovered like that. So if the subject is died, so you will get the observation like fatal. Okay. So like that we can assume that because present data we don't have any subject having the death or anything. So in these cases, how can we represent this output? So if you filter this condition, you are having the zero observation. So in this scenario, so how to create a macro? If the observations are there, directly it will print the observation. If the observations are zero after applying the condition, so how can we represent? Okay. So what we do at the moment, so first once the filter condition was done, so then we have to check how many observations are there in the data set. Okay. Proc SQL, no print, select count of star into just number of observations from which data set, AEDA data set, and quit. So just I am checking how many observations are there in this data set. Okay, so first listing, if you are running this one, what happened? So you'll get 97 observation. So same thing if you are applying into the second listing. So how many observation? One observation. If you are applying this condition here, what we get the macro variable is a zero. Okay. So whenever it is a zero observation, we have to write a separate proc report. Whenever it has a above zero observation, we have to write a one proc report. Okay. So here, how can we write percentage if the ampersand NBR greater than zero, then do so this procedure. Okay, so normally we can filter the data and we have to write the proc report and etc. and end, run and end. Here you will end that one. Okay, so if in case the NBR equal to 0, means number of observations are equal to 0, then we have to write a programming in a different way. Okay, so if it is a 0 observations, okay, then what we do, so we simply write from dummy proc report section and we can close it. Okay, so in that cases, if it is a 0 observations, data ADAE2, okay, so just we can mention one variable called no observations, and just run it, and we have to write same. You need to copy this one. So if it is a 0 observations are there in the data set, you can create a dummy data set and write this one. And so in the proc report section, just copy this, paste it here. In the proc report section, no need to include all this variable, only the dummy variable text. Okay, so now we need to define that variable. The text, and you can give around like 99, only one variable, right? 99. So text, and we are defining this text and just run it and ODS close, then end here. Okay, so we are creating, if it is a 0 observation, dummy data and dummy data set we display like this. So here you can see this is the macrotized thing. So what we do, so we have to create a macro in this. So macro name is AE. Okay, so it's how many places change? V1 equal to V2 equal to V3 equal to. Okay, so first is, this is the main condition, ampersand V1, and next change is here the title, ampersand V2. So all the programming 2, 3, 4 is a footnote, and here this is a ampersand V3. So extension is there, one more dot is required. Okay, so next it comes to here. So here this is the percent V2, and 234 is a program name, and here this is a V3, one more dot is required. So now here the macro n, now we are calling the macro. So macro is this one. Yeah, so V1, V2, V3, and this one. So whenever you want to write a first program, 2 to 2, right? So 2 to 2, serious adverse event which leading to the death. Just copy this and paste it here. So what is the condition here? Serious adverse events and which leading to the death. So this is the condition.
So it containing some special character. So you can keep as a percentage str and this one. So the title is, this is the title should be reserved. And here next this one is the 16222. So if you are passing that information into the macro, so how it is going to result? First, it will check the condition, and after that one, the data set, how many observations are there. If the observations are equal to 0, it will print. If the observations are greater than 0, the above report is going to print. Okay. So it is a dynamic code. So no need to every time, no need to check the data or nothing. Simply if you are run this code, something I have file in use. Here you can see no observations. Okay. So if you want to align this into center, here you can see no observation. Serious adverse event leading to the death, no observation. If you want to pass the next listing, just copy this and paste it here. Serious adverse events. So the condition is only the serious adverse event. And it is here. So if you run this patch of code, what happened? So it containing one observation, right? So that one observation is going to print here. So the next, the final listing 16224. Just copy it. And a term not equal to missing. You can see all the adverse events are listed in the adverse event listing. Okay, if you run this entire programming at once, so automatically three listings are going to print one by one. Okay, so you can see 222 no observations, 223, 224. So in future, if you get the data with the subject having the death information automatically, so after filtering, so it will count the observations present. If it is not zero, so the below part is going to execute and the death information related observations also printed as it is. If the observations are zero cases only, we can write like this. So this was very much helpful. It is in a ongoing studies. So initially we don't have much data. Gradually the data is going to increase. So in that cases, this dynamic code is very much helpful. So most of the programmers, what they do, so if the data is not there, simply, so they are writing a dummy data and they create it. But in future, at the last time submission time, the data was going to update that time. They are, going to trouble to create a new programming in the short time. Okay. So that is why write in a dynamic way code like this. So no need to worry about the data. If the data is updated, so automatically that macro variable will check whether it has a zero observations or greater than zero observations, and it will pick up the proper proc report and it will print as it is. Okay. Yeah. So this is for today's class.